Okay.
They should be able to sign up and just come on in. Good afternoon, everyone. Today we have on tap two great organizations. The first organization that will be talking with us is Construction Cares, and we have Rachel Ivy on tap. And then I will bring up our second presenter in just a second, and I will introduce her as well. So if you, Rachel, would like to go ahead and begin, um, I will pass the
Perfect.
mic to you.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Jackie. Again, welcome everyone. I'm excited to be here today. My name is Rachel Ivy, and I am the Executive Director for Communities Empowered Through Construction and Construction Cares. And so, our assist agency that we'll be talking about, we'll actually be talking about both today. But the first one we wanted to talk about was Construction Cares. And I'm going to go over our mission statement next. And our mission basically is to support the disenfranchised construction workforce by providing financial assistance, training, and wellness support for those individuals that are navigating a career in construction. Next slide. So, our programming. Everybody knows the cyclical nature of construction can be a challenge. And for many residents, when they are between jobs or when they're just struggling just to meet some of their essential living expenses due to the cyclical nature of construction, all of this can have a devastating impact on individuals and their families. So that was one of the reasons why we established Construction Cares. Our goal is to provide assistance as they are going through those ups and those downs in construction. So we offer hardship grants, and hardship grants look like when you are $200 short from actually getting your driver's license and you have an opportunity that's available in the construction industry. We don't want you to miss that opportunity because something like your driver's license or the individual got his car towed and needed some assistance getting his car out of a PAM because all of his work tools was in there. So we act as that organization that kind of helps support them financially as they're trying to make it through this construction industry. We also offer assistance with union dues, utility grants, and we have, in some cases, assisted with housing grants. Next slide. Educational support. So our training and development programs look very different from a lot of the other construction training programs. We don't train for carpentry. Our programs are geared more to promote a wealth and growth mindset for our construction individuals. For example, we offer financial literacy programming to help tradesmen budget and come up with a plan that helps them to navigate those financial uncertainties. So while we may help them financially initially, our plan, though, is to get them connected to the right resources that will help them put a plan in place so that they can manage those uncertainties going forward better. Um, we also found that one of the main barriers of entry in the construction industry was a lack of driver's licenses, and a lot of people we found lost them because either there were tickets or they had issues with child support. So we partnered with legal aid organizations to kind of help individuals navigate those individual cases. So depending on where they are in the process, we have resources that help them get through that process. In addition, we also do legal aid seminars, and we have a great relationship with city and state legislators. And our goal is basically to make sure that our candidates or individuals that are in the industry understand how new legislation can impact their lives. So we do a lot of awareness campaigns on legal rights, affordable housing, and things of that nature. Next slide. The other thing that we found was that the construction industry can be brutal on your mental psyche. And so one of my favorite quotes is our goal is really to not to tell you to get over it, but to help you get through it. The culture in the industry is very difficult to navigate sometimes on your own and can have some lasting emotional scars. So, here at Construction Cares, we understand these challenges, and our goal was to put resources in place that kind of encourage, motivate, and really help build a spirit of resilience. So we do a lot of care packages for individuals that are in our program. We do on-site lunch check-ins. We also have a mentorship program that we do, and we also host various wellness events. Next slide, Jackie. So the next question is, how do you access those resources? And this is where Communities Empowered Through Construction comes into play. Our mission at Communities Empowered Through Construction is to be a bridge that connects Chicago communities to the construction industry. Our goal is to offer training and professional development to community residents as a means of cultivating a professional relationship within the industry. So, really being a resource that connects all of the communities all over the city to the construction industry. Next slide, Jackie. So I'll just give you just a couple of company highlights, some things about Communities Empowered Through Construction. Um, we have developed a fair and a transparent process to local hiring. Our approach to diversity and inclusion is very collaborative. We have a strong network of individuals, of community-based partners that we work with. We also work with most of the compliance and diversity consultants in the city, and we share resources and opportunities among each other. We specialize in developing solutions that are mutual beneficial for all of our stakeholders. So, not just for subcontractors or the general contractor, but also individuals that live in the city and that live in the various communities that have typically not had the opportunities to be a part of all these projects that are going on in their communities. In the past 8 years, we have done over 60 projects all over the city of Chicago. And one of the biggest things and one of the differentiators for us is our focus on community engagement. So we are all about creating content that really engages the community. And we do that with through two methods, which is our magazine and our podcast. Next slide, Jackie.
Before I go to the next slide, did you want to tell them what the magazine?
Well, the next slide should actually, the next slide is actually the slide of the podcast and the magazine. So, yeah. So here, community engagement, we have a new podcast that we call The Blueprint, and it's everything construction. So we talk to elected officials, we talk to vice presidents of general contracting firms, we talk to subcontractors, we talk to individuals that work in the construction industry, and we have conversation and dialogue about any and everything around construction. We also have our magazine, which is BASE, and it means building awareness through community engagement. And our goal there is really just to be a fusion of construction and the everyday. So kind of making just think construction meets GQ. And that's kind of the goal of BASE magazine, to make the construction industry inviting to people who may not know what we do in the industry. Next slide. So here, I just want to kind of go over how our hiring process works and how we typically work with our general contractors. So when we have employment opportunities from subcontractors, we work with our community partners to see if they have individuals, but then also sourcing our own database of individuals to develop their resumes to work on the project. And so those individuals are then referred for drug screening. And if they are successful with their drug screening, we refer those individuals to the subcontractors. We coordinate interviews for the subcontractors. So the subcontractor basically gives us their availability. We work directly with individuals from the community to see their availability and make sure that there aren't any hiccups there. The subcontractor does the interview. He makes the selection. We don't decide who gets the opportunity. And then from there, once the subcontractor makes his selection, um, we then let those individuals know who weren't successful, what they could have done better, and then we share with the other successful candidate the information for the subcontractor. And it's at that point the successful individual goes and works for the subcontractor. Next slide. So, how do you become a part of our database? How do you become a part of the CEC's Communities Empowered Through Construction, our network? The first thing that we ask everyone to do is to attend one of our virtual workforce outreach events. And we actually have a few of them coming up. I'll mention them a little later towards the end of the presentation. And then we also need you to go and do an interest application. You can do that application at www.communitiesforconstruction.com. Once we receive those applications, we typically screen them for residency, county ward, depending on where the project is. We try to look at those individuals first. We look at experience, whether or not they have any union affiliation, so that we can figure out the best way to place those individuals. After that, we ask that you come and you do a random drug test. You have 2 days to take that test. And this is important because if you know that we know that marijuana is legal. So if you know that you won't be able to pass that test, we ask that you just let us know. It's a no judgment zone. And then when you are in a position or when you know that you're ready to move forward, you just give our office a call and then we'll go from there. The last thing you want to do is come in, fail the drug test, because at that point we can't really do anything else with you for at least another 6 months. So once you successfully pass the drug test, there's an interview that we do with you, and that interview and a coaching session. And really that session is to kind of understand how to best place you and to understand what type of career goals and to set the expectation of what you could expect in the industry and from us, how we can assist you. As opportunities become available, we coordinate again those interviews with the subcontractors. And then if you're successful, meaning you wooed the subcontractor, then you just basically have to submit to whatever that subcontractor's hiring process is. So that means if you have to go to, say, Oak Brook or Oak Park to their home office to do their application or to do their drug test, that's just what you have to do. Next slide. So here are just a couple of questions that we just like to share. A lot of people ask, so frequently asked questions. Who are you typically employed by? So you are typically either employed by the general contractor or the subcontractor. So we don't employ anybody directly. We just pretty much work as a liaison to kind of facilitate the placement. Do you have to be a member of a local union or trade to qualify for employment? Not necessarily. However, most of our positions are union based, but we do and have been successful in obtaining union opportunities, union sponsorship opportunities, and we also have other non-union opportunities that we come across on a regular basis. In addition, our goal is to help you get where you want to be. So as if there's training programs, we work with a ton of other partners in the industry. So when they have training programs, we try to get you connected with those programs as well. Are these long-term career opportunities? Potentially. The goal is that if you are selected for a project that's going in the community, you'll go, you'll do a good job, you get connected with the subcontractor, he likes how well you work, and then he'll keep you, and then you just go with his crew wherever he goes all over the city. If you have any questions about the hiring process or just want more information, feel free to reach out via phone 312-989-3903 or visit our website at www.communitiesforconstruction.com. And here, earlier, I mentioned about some of our upcoming online intake conferences. We have a few that are coming up within the next month. So 878 North Wales, 210 Aberdeen, and the O'Hare Cargo Facility. So the O'Hare Cargo Facility it's still open now. So if you go to our website, and you can just scan the QR code right there. And if you want to do an interest application there and do the intake, and the intake is really just a questionnaire so you can understand the details around the project. And to get your name on the list, please go ahead and just scan the QR code to do that. And again, our website is www.communities4construction.com. And I think that is all I have, Jackie. Any questions?
Perfect. We'll take the questions at the
Oh, at the
end.
end? Okay.
Yeah. And if you would, in the chat, if you could go ahead and put the number,
Yep.
if they have any further questions after they leave here,
Okay.
in the chat area and your website, that would be
Okay.
perfect.
All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Our next guest speaker, I'm going to hand the controls over to Dr. Octavia Alzheimer's, and she is going to take us through her portion, which her presentation is on the BCOE's, the Black Contractors, Owners, and Executives. And she's going to take you through her presentation. Did you need me to have your presentation up as well? Or you should have
Yeah,
control?
so you may want to share because while she was giving her presentation, it was freezing up.
Oh, it did? Okay.
It won't play nice.
Yeah, right. It's just not doing us right today.
It's not.
Okay, so let me take back the control then, as I have
Okay.
given control. And now I can share my screen. Look at the right. Are you seeing your presentation on the screen?
I do.
Okay, wonderful. Let me put it in presentation form. And this is first slide, correct?
I've changed it, but yeah, for the sake of this, it's going to have to be because I can't pull mine up.
Okay. All righty.
So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dr. Octavia Alzheimer. I am the Executive Director for BCO, Black Contractors, Owners, and Executives. Thank you very much, Jackie, for allowing us to speak to this platform to share with you guys who and what BCO is and what we do. So for the most part, starting out with BCO's goals at a glance, who we really are, we have three, not kind of in any order, but three goals that we want to share with you guys about the organization of who we are, what we represent, and what we're trying to do in the community. And with our, the acronyms of who we are, contractors, owners, and executives. And that is to be the premier Black assist agency for us to provide endless opportunities to our contractors, owners, and executives, and provide advocacy as well on behalf of these said individuals. Next slide, please. And who we are. I'm going to read this verbatim because I think mission is really big when it comes to any organizations, what the mission is, because the mission sets the tone for the organization and what we set out to do. And who we are as Black owners, Black contractors, owners, and executives. We're an organization that is unified and committed to supporting Black contractors and industry professionals through education, mentoring, advocacy, and legislation resulting in the economic growth and advancement of Black communities. Next slide. Our first goal is to be a premier agency. Now, what does that look like? When you might hear people talk about what is a premier agency. For us, a premier agency is we want to be able to stand alone in what it is we do. You have quite a few agencies that's out there, but who BCO is, what's the individuality, and what's the uniqueness and who we are and bring to the table, or branded as a unique organization. So with that being said, we're striving to be community liaisons with Black businesses, owners, and potential partners. And with that being said, it's huge. Think about in any organization, construction. I heard you talk about the marijuana Act and how if they were smoking marijuana and coming into an industry. So think about this, the cannabis cutout of what we term it here, the law that was set aside or put into place where individuals have gone to jail for marijuana. Okay, so when they come out of jail, construction pretty much at the laborer level is kind of the low entry level position that these individuals are able to get into. And so we want to be that agency, to be able to partner with said organizations, business owners, to assist them, if they got these, felonies and whatever type of background, because again, construction is kind of like that low hanging fruit when one is starting out, to be able to assist them. Again, fulfilling the exigencies for Black owned businesses, owners, and executives. The value membership. Let me see if I can share my slide, if it'll work in between, Jackie, because I think this is huge to let your audience know, being a part of BECO and who we are, being a premier agency, some of the resources that we offer to our members. Let me see if I'm able to share that with you guys. Okay, let's see. Will it allow me? It allowed me to share. Can you see that, Jackie?
I can see it.
You can, great. So, being very strategic in who we are, these are the things, once you are a member of BECO and being a premier agency of what we're calling ourselves, these are the things that we afford to our members. Advocacy, representation in legislation and public policy, one-on-one coaching with our board. And our board consists of individuals such as Jimmy Akatande, who's the president and the founding member of Ujamaa Construction, Sean Harris, which is the founding member of BECO, and he's the president and founding member of Livewire and BlackRock Construction. We have annual membership events, which are kind of explosive, really great. They work really hard. We play even harder. We just had our annual Father's Day golf outing, which is our huge networking / fundraising event, where we had not just our contractors or our members, we also had our corporate sponsors out there. Great networking opportunity. Strategic partnerships across the board. We offer a 2-hour legal advisory session for these individuals, because we know once you start up a business, the back office support is always 9 times out of 10 what's lacking or deficient. So being able to assist in that back end support with the 2-hour legal assistance. Membership spotlight on our members. When we have our general membership monthly meetings, we have what's known as a fireside chat, where we're actually spotlighting them. We have a members only tab within the website. And most importantly, most importantly, we have what's called a news you can use that goes out on a weekly basis, where we get tons of information, be it bid opportunities for our contractors, different announcements from like CTA. I'm drawing a blank, but CTA is one of the biggest ones. Metra, Bally's Construction, Bally's. So we have Lakeland Alliance. We have a plethora of information that comes through that's afforded to our members, that's able to assist them in being able to bid. And not just being able to bid, I think this last key point is critical, because they have now board leadership opportunities and access to these said board members. When we talk about even, our current board president, Madam Angela Drexel, she is a force to be reckoned with. She's a Black woman in a predominantly dominated trade of Black men, and she's an electrician. She's a tradesman or a tradeswoman. And so being able to have access to her, Miriam Green, she's the president and founder of GWO Trucking. So, when we see women, especially Black women in a male dominated industry, and you're having access to that, that's again what's setting ourselves apart as being a premier industry or a sister agency of what we're saying we are. You could bring it back up if you don't mind. Let's see if it'll allow me to bring it back up. Can you see that?
I sure can.
Oh, alrighty. Okay.
Just put us on the,
There you go.
yeah, you're on the right.
So moving into the networking opportunities is endless. Again, once we have our annual events, we have access to that. Members have access to other members within the organization as well. We have different education and workshops I'll get into on another side, and different growth opportunities within itself. Next. Our second goal is education. So again, being a premier agency and kind of branding ourselves and setting ourselves aside, again, what's another thing that attracts members or sustains membership? You have to be able to give individuals education in order to scale their business, make them knowledgeable so they can grow and move forward. That consists of our monthly general membership meetings, and we have those every month, the third Thursday of the month. We have different guest speakers, again, road builders, CTA, different contractors, bid opportunities, Ryan companies. We have some of the biggest names within the industry that, come out and actually speak to our members. Kicking off this year, we actually had the Speaker of the House, Christopher Welch, actually came on and was one of our speakers, talking about the endless opportunities that Illinois is actually bringing and how that is affecting or its effect of for Black contractors, owners, and executives. And when we talk about BCOE, Black contractors, owners, and executives, we don't want the contracting piece, and the contractors is huge. But when you think about from a construction industry, you also have those professional services that's always missed. Who's going to clean the buildings? Who's going to be the accountant? Who's going to be the attorneys? So those are just as important as the contractors as well, and opportunities are afforded to them as well when we talk about bid opportunities, and we're having different education seminars that's geared towards individuals, because business as a whole is just not one sphere or one level. So talked about the guest speakers. Our fireside chats actually consist of our members in itself. When we talk about spotlighting members, because it's huge, right? To be able to pay homage or give notoriety or recognition to individuals that's actually out there doing the work. I think it brings morale within to an organization. They feel good about themselves that, hey, an organization such as ours is spotlighting them for what they're doing. And so that's huge. The workshops that we provide is finance. We've done some phenomenal webinars on finances, on how to get financing, because typical small mom and pop or startup businesses have problems with getting finance. So we were able to, bring those seminars in for our members and or guest members as well, because even though we're a membership organization, non-members, we offer for additional fee, non-members an opportunity to sit on these trainings as well. And additional trainings we also have. Legal seminars, we've had those gearing towards, the bid bonds, performance bonds, what it looks like to put your packet together. All of the red tape that contractors normally run into and starting up, they need someone to talk them through that. So us being able to provide that is one of the actual value services that we provide for educational opportunities. And again, going back to that Premier Assist agency and who we are. Our third goal, advocacy. Advocacy is huge. And when I say huge, we just can't talk about being a premier organization without being able to advocate on behalf of our members. One of the biggest things we did go this past spring was going down to Springfield, advocating on behalf of the contractors as it relates to House Bill 5412, the wage theft bill. And what that bill did or has done, because it passed through the House and then it passed to the Senate. And so we were down there advocating on behalf of our members, myself, the executive director from HICEA, which is a Hispanic organization to ours, FWC, the Federation Women in Construction. They were all, and we were all in a collaborative environment and trying to advocate for our members for this bill and how it would grossly affect the community if and when it was passed. It did pass. We tried to educate our members. We brought members down there to testify and how and if this bill is passed, what it's going to do to different communities. So for us, advocating on behalf of our members it's critical to the livelihood of what our members do. So we're an advocacy agency as well. And I should have started the organization by saying we are a 501c6. Currently, we're advocating on behalf of Senate Bill 1891, the prevailing wage. Kind of talk to you guys, it's really not a bill, but what we've termed it, our founder have termed it the cannabis cutout for minority contractors. Just again, you know, they're locked up for for carrying marijuana, you know, so they do the time, then they come out and then they're cut out by not being able to get a slice of the pie, meaning, you know, if they're a contractor and trying to get into the industry. Another one is equity reporting for minorities in trade. We're pushing for there to be some type of equality with these unions to be able to report out if in fact they're hiring or bringing on Black tradesmen into these apprenticeships. Another one, a huge one, the MBE, DBE program limitations, where they cap out and they graduate from one financial level to another, and how it, you know, kind of squeezes organizations out if they've met that cap, meaning if they met that cap, they're not qualified to go after other contracts. And so some of our organizations have lost, or some of our members have lost business because of this. And so that's another area we've been trying to work with the Cook County and the city on that. Currently in September, we're actually running or having a meeting between BECO and the Black Caucus. That's going to be held in South Suburban College. There's more information to follow. Just wanted to get that out to you guys because it's definitely imperative for Black agencies such as ours to be kind of like hip, tied by the hip with the Black Caucus. I think it's huge, and not just the Black Caucus. I think it has to be more so from the Illinois General Assembly, you know, because when in terms of creating bills, it's to be able to have relationships across the board. But the Black Caucus is able to speak to our issues a little bit more fluidly, more so than the entire General Assembly. So being able to have their ear, establishing that relationship, I think it's kind of been, you know, critical in moving us forward as an organization. And so that is more information to follow with that, because that meeting, again, it's in September of this year. So again, our next general membership is Thursday, July 21st, 2020 at 5 p.m. It's an online, you can actually, it's online, and it's also at Ujamaa. That information on Stony Island, that information is online. More to follow. We have another huge event where we're actually, it's a collaboration with Hacia, our Soul and Salsa Festival. That'll be probably at the end of September, beginning of October. More information to follow on that. It'll be on the website. And then just to find out more of who we are, again, keeping up who we are, events we're having, you're interested in becoming a member, you're interested in corporate sponsorship, all of that information can be found at www.becochicago.org. Again, if you're interested in membership, finding out more about who our board members are, because I'm here to tell you, we have, when I say Black excellence across the board, I think if you're looking for an organization where you're able to learn from the best, BECO is that premier agency where we just don't talk the talk, we walk the walk, because it's being met with our leaders who's sitting at the helm of this organization. Their profiles can be found at www.becochicago.org. I'm sorry, their picture. And if you want more information on them, their profiles is on LinkedIn as well. And so that's the end of my presentation. So I think we're going to do the Q&A at the end.
No, you could have leave your screen up.
Sure.
Then I won't have to put my question screen back up.
Sure.
And you can just leave that
Sure.
back up. That's perfect.
Okay.
All right, so we are ready for questions. If you have any questions from our guest speaker, Rachel Ivy and Dr. Octavia Alzheimer, feel free to go ahead and use the Q&A panel, put it in, and press the enter key. I will just say I am going to press the enter key in the chat area if you leave that area for us, and you will use the Q&A panel for your questions. But the chat panel has information on where you can find great resources on the Department of Procurement Services website, along with the email addresses for Dr. Ivy, Rachel Ivy. Dr. Altimer, would you put your email address in your website in the
Absolutely.
chat, so they'll have
Sure.
that as well. And anyone that has a question, the Q&A panel is now open. Feel free, if you would like to go ahead and put your question in there, and I will definitely ask these ladies your question. If there are no other questions, because that was a wealth of information, and I always say that if there's information in there that perhaps you can't use at the moment, if you know someone who can use the information, feel free to give them these websites and jot down the locations in the chat that I have put, because they will be listed online at the DPS website. Their PowerPoints will be there, where you can see what they talked about. We also have an area in YouTube, youtube.com/Chicago DPS, where you can go into our 2022 playlist and see a copy of this presentation. So if there are no further questions, I am definitely going to ask these ladies to just give me one last parting word from you. And I'll let you all take it from here and just give one last parting. If you were to give a tip or anything from them to them listening right now, what would you say? Any wise information that if they learn one thing from your presentation today, what would that be? I will let Dr. Alzheimer's, you can go first, and then Rachel can follow it up.
Sure thing. Thanks for that, Jackie. Again, thank you guys for your time. You could have been any place else. You guys decided to join us this afternoon. So for that, that's priceless, and thank you. I guess parting words from me as the executive director, I think Black excellence is huge, and it's important in terms of how you conduct business and what you do, and having the right network. I always say your network is your net worth. And so you should be able to engage and activate individuals or align yourself with individuals and or organizations that take you to the next level. And BECO is that premier assist agency to take you to the next level. And so if you're interested in growing your business, if you're interested in knowing more about who we are, what we do, how we can assist you, if you're interested in being able to surround yourselves with individuals that'll assist you on, if you're probably at a crossroads, whether you want to scale your business, I think BECO is an organization that will be able to assist you. And the intentions are great for every board member, every member. I wouldn't even be with the organization. Mission, going back to the mission and who we are. So I think that's important. If I wanted to leave you guys with anything, take a look at missions. If you're able to connect with the mission, I think that's huge. But the last parting word is your network is your net worth. So if you're looking for that, I would definitely look at BECO as being that premier agency to take you to the next level. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Alzheimer's. I do agree with her on that. And I will say as well that they do have a lot of Black excellence in their organization, and they do fight hard and work hard to make sure that all agencies and entities are looking out for people who want to get into the construction field or want to do business with government entities or other entities. So I would say look out for them and see how you can be a part of their organization. I will now ask Rachel Ivy, Mike herself, and she can give her last word.
So, okay. So I agree. My last words would definitely have to relate to the importance of networking and getting connected to the construction industry. If you're looking to really get involved just in terms of building a career as a tradesman or just getting connected to the industry. We tell everyone, even all of our clients, you want to get connected to all the resource organizations that exist in the industry. Um, and for us, it starts with basically going to our Communities Empowered Through Construction website, which is www.communities, the number 4, construction.com. And just so you can start to get the information, when we have intake conferences, because we also share all kind of construction related information. So when our partners are hosting events, when there are webinars that are related to the event, we share also information about our podcasts and things like that. So you want to stay connected or in the know when you're working in construction, because it's not like it definitely started out as the only way you can get involved is to know somebody. And so we're trying to change that narrative a bit. And the way you do that is actually by getting connected. The other thing I wanted to say is that Construction Cares is a 501c3 organization. And if you're looking to donate to support other tradesmen, we ask you to go to our website, which is www.constructioncare, not construction, Lord, www that yeah, it is constructioncare.org. Sorry about that. I get the little constructions mixed up sometimes. But that would be the only thing that I would have to say. And thank you guys for having me.
Thank you for participating. Again, another great organization as an individual and as another business. If you're looking to partner with the organizations or be a part of an organization, great one to look into and be a part of. And I hope that someone if again you don't know that you can use the information, I hope someone is able to reach out. You are able to reach out to someone to take advantage. That's why we bring these workshops to you so that we are able to make sure that everyone, every citizen in the city of Chicago who wants to can. And so these are two great organizations out of many. Each time we do the working with assist agency, there will be new assist agencies so that you can become familiar with them. But for those of you that are aware of our buying plan, in the back of the buying plan, and you can find that online at chicago.gov/DPS and click on the icon that says buying plan. In the back of the buying plan is a list of assist agencies that are here to help you and be a resource or have tools that they are willing to share to make your journey in getting information much easier. So hopefully you can take advantage of that. So I do want to thank my guests, and I'm just going to take one last peek, and I don't have any questions in the Q&A panel. So with that said, I do want to thank both of my guests, Dr. Octavia Alzheimer's and Rachel Ivy, for joining us today, giving us that information. We will follow up and make sure that their information is put on our DPS website at chicago.gov/DPS events. You will be able to see a listing of workshops, and theirs will be in there. And then if you go to youtube.com/Chicago DPS, you will see in the 2022 playlist the workshops that were done today. So thank you, guests. Thank you, participants. We will see you next time. I say to you, stay safe, stay well. We are having a vendor fair on August 25th at Malcolm X from 10 to 3, where I hope these ladies will join me, along with a list of exhibitors, over 100 exhibitors. We have some guest speakers, we have a keynote speaker, and we have some workshops. So if you haven't received the DPS alert, I know this Monday you will be receiving one on this event. I hope you sign up so that you can take part in this wonderful event and get even more information that will be able to help you work with government entities along with other entities. Thank you so much. See you next time. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you, Jackie.
Thank you. Thank you, Jackie.
You're welcome. Thank you both.